1. Hands very, very high. As well he... Barry Michael for the world that Juan Laporte carries.
Azumah Nelson defending his...
Drums banging in the background as Azumah Nelson bangs away to Juan Laporte. He charged from his corner, ran...
The initial punch was a beauty. He seemed to throw him to the first, almost a Cumberland.
That right hand of Juan Laporte's hit the mark. Punches on the chin in this round.
Top of Nelson's head. Solid chin.
KO magazine in America said that Juan Laporte had the best chin in boxing at the moment for 20 years. So certainly both guys have the
almost tiny leg.
There's that big right hand, and Azumah Nelson was really rocked by that. Laporte tried to finish it with the left hook there and threw them in.
By Laporte, like that flung the chin.
And when he's put under pressure, that's when he fights at his best. So Laporte is tentative coming. The jab of Azumah. He's his sparring partners, dancing rings around. Nelson's carrying the left hand very, very hard, sounding again in the background. He has to start forcing the issue, as he did in the first round. Because if he hangs back and lets Nelson start to find the range with that left hand.
Nelson. Laporte just trying to get that punch in that's going to away.
See, the difference in Laporte, believe me, is well aware of that tactic. He wants Nelson to lead up. Nelson misses with a...
He was away from the trouble zone.
Nelson really just constantly good as we progress.
Good punch underneath. Speed from the champion. Skills of elusiveness.
They are so wary of misses, and Nelson is so adept at making a man miss that a screaming left hook will come straight back. We're seeing a bit of a Mexican standoff at the moment. One guy waiting for the other.
Around the ring. This is his third lap.
He gets up on those toes. Always been a brilliant boxer, but what we have fights previous to this, so many great ones. Sharp today. Let's work.
Found the mark. Mirror Group, the New Zealand leading boxing and
well, it's actually,
but certainly.
But the guy really gaining the upper hand. Laporte showed that left hook, but he's first, so he can counter. But Laporte, many great fights that we're going to see on Sky Channel this month. We spoke earlier about the Mike Bounty Hunter Jose Flores fight. Well, of course, on October 26th.
So they work in close, and Nelson. Oh, good left underneath by Laporte.
Nelson in round number 4. He's trying to put them together. Nelson having to hang on. Nelson goes back to the ropes. Laporte coming on strong. Is this the moment for Juan Laporte? He's got Nelson back against the ropes. From Juan Laporte and a big one underneath.
It was the big left underneath that I called. Nelson looks okay now.
If he could just lift his guns and in a great deal of trouble. Just a little more. Certainly Jeff Fennick will be encouraged by what he's seen in this 4th round. Have a look at Juan Laporte working hard underneath. Missed with that big right hand over the top. But
round 5. Good left. To silent upon.
But it's only because of a very fast 4th round. Having said that, Buffalo Martin in the corner tasted a couple of bombs from Laporte. I know what this guy is capable of, that we've seen in previous bouts, but that's only because of the great regard he has for the power of Juan Laporte.
Real.
Would like to do. He can't bang him. He gets a little bit cocky, Azumah. He gets a right hander. And a great tragedy to see this great man hit the canvas simply because of his record so far. It only takes one shot from Juan Laporte.
I get the impression, Grantley, that Laporte, what they've worked for.
He's almost been a little robotic in his method, but there's obviously a barrel staring over that load up on the right hand. is yelling at Laporte. He's telling Laporte how to fight Nelson. He wants Nelson to throw more punches. Trade a little low. You're getting frustrated, yelling out, beautiful, baby. Obviously, Azumah at his victory party, but before any victory, he'll be throwing a lot more punches.
In a candy shop, and he's got a hand in the cupboard.
Well, he can only go to the goodies. Every time he sticks away from.
Now he gets him in close. He lets go with lefts and rights. Big bombs, but Nelson comes back. Laporte hoping to get not very impressed. 7.
Boxer Azumah Nelson
By a point.
Nelson showing his class. Juan Laporte has landed so far through the first.
It's more in front than a point, but I agree with you. There's nothing in this. Not a struck match in it.
And the fact that he's not prepared to run already, that people aren't. And this.
Those are breakable. There you go.
Yeah. Fennick, and he's not going to really let it all hang out against
Nelson. Big ball by Laporte. Don't get through.
And Laporte turns southpaw to have another go. Nelson. Laporte always looks dangerous with that right hand, but Nelson rode that one out, and he's the one back throwing the punches. Laporte at this stage.
Well, it doesn't matter. House.
Oh, yeah. Fennick be enough to cut the legs from.
Let's have a look at this. This could be the big right. It was. And as I thought, that first right did get through, but then Nelson, an artist in the ring. One week. Gotta hope that he gets off.
I really do feel that he has so much more, and I just get the feeling that he so far in the fight. I only really is an enigmatic character. He really is a mediocre opponent.
Well, let me ask you this question, as he must have. Doesn't matter.
Azumah Nelson is going to get away with it. And I believe that Fennick, because Fennick has at his very best when he's backed up.
Just when you think.
Well, I think he was a little off balance there. He was certainly bouncing back. Laporte managed to get through a straight one on his chin, and that put him more off balance throughout this fight. But he has largely because of that.
Laporte's corner. They're calling for him to go.
They want to see him roar into Laporte.
Couple of good punches. And the jab working again for us.
Jabs.
Let's see this left hand by Laporte. It definitely landed, but it seemed to get Azumah.
Really got to start throwing some big right hands over the top.
Azumah Nelson and Juan Laporte.
Nelson. Nelson haven't been thrilled with his performance tonight. His trainer, manager, Butlo Martino, a very, very sore hand by this stage, telling Nelson to have it again from the head of the little African.
Laporte, I think, may have lost his footing.
Well, he lost his footing.
Laporte!
Nelson in trouble! Nelson in trouble on the ropes! Nelson's in big trouble, he's riding him out! Juan Laporte! This is the moment that Juan Laporte has been waiting for 6 years. He unloads on Azumah Nelson, but he got rocked there. Oh, Laporte again, another right hand! Nelson, the look of worry on his face. For Juan Laporte behind me, but he looks to be on his legs again. What a master he is. Under pressure, one sorts of bother, but he did very, very well to ride those ones out with a big uppercut there.
Pick it up where he left it off.
Still Australians, guys are so professional by a right hand. Throws.
Bit more power in the punch.
Trying for the world lightweight title. Oh, certainly Nelson. This has not been one of his on the back move. He's sticking out that left hand.
Been a couple of occasions in the fight where you think he's in trouble, but suddenly bounce.
Goodness me, these guys really are gentlemen boxers, aren't they? It's almost like an opponent slipped against Jeff Fennick, whether they'd get a little pat. Right hand over, controlling the tempo of this round.
Couple of big lefts by Laporte, but Nelson comes back. Left.
They saw Azumah Nelson dazzling opponents in the gym. where Azumah Nelson has a flurry of bombs in the out in the 12th round. In
a couple of good punches for Day, but while he's getting...
And no doubt Nelson feels that that's all he has to do to win this fight. Keep the impression, Ray, that Azumah Nelson is out fights. Believe me, against Jeff Fennick, Azumah Nelson is going to great strength to beat the Miracle Mauler.
Now,
Nelson, a smile came across his face in this fight, Azumah Nelson. But as I say, I get the impression that he's decided not to go 100% flat out, just to win the fight as he can.
So, assert his superiority, and I think there is. Juan Laporte.
But as we said throughout, he doesn't want to get careless, Azumah Nelson. He's got the hands down, get careless against this man. No doubt he got 3 and a bit minutes left to retain his world title. Oh, round going in, but really, I don't think we've
box a lot better than
the boxing sheer animal aggression that we've seen many times.
Might be just flicking that left out, but the fact is that the face part of the ringside judge would have to tally it up as a punch.
Ray, Laporte has never really been in any great danger, but he's copped looking out like a snake.
1 minute and 15 seconds to get a miracle punch off if he's to win.
Laporte has won a lot of fans here. They're imploring him to have a go. They're imploring him to chase Azumah Nelson. He's chasing, but he's a very hard man to catch. Azumah Nelson around and box around. He's a very hard man to know. But Nelson fights back off the ropes. Azumah Nelson has looked to be in trouble at several stages in this fight. I still feel they'll get away with the decision, but Juan Laporte has been dangerous right throughout.
20 seconds in. He's circling. 5 seconds on our clock.
Great final round, Ray. It's been a great final round. Nelson under pressure.